And they created these on their own. This was with no kind of influence or mentorship from guys that, because remember the generation of guys that were older than them, that generation prior of gangsters were killed off by the Italians during the Policy King era. So those Policy Kings who were their predecessors had been killed off. So they had to reinvent the wheel. And for them to be from 1963, when they come into their formation as Black Disciples, to 1960, I mean, as Devil's Disciples. So they evolved from Devil's Disciples in 1963. By the time they get to 1969, they become the Black Gangster Disciple Nation. Right? That's 6 years. And even before they became the Black Gangster Disciples, they went from 1963 to being Devil's Disciples. And then shortly after that, dropping Devils because they didn't think that Devils was appropriate for the direction that they wanted to go in. So then they just became Disciples. And then when the Black Power movement kicked in and the Panthers and all, then they took on the title Black Disciples.
What was the relationship between them and the Black Panthers?
They were tight. Like one of the things I did learn in writing this book, I always was under the assumption that the Stones were closer. Now I know it was a rift between the Panthers and the Stones, but their ideologies of, the Stones being red, black, and green, or red and black, and, nationalists and the pyramid and the cultural thing, you would think that they would be closer with the Panthers. But actually the BDs, the Black Disciples, were closer with the Panthers than any other group. They were they rolled on a day-to-day basis with Fred Hampton. Fred Hampton kicked it with them. They had free breakfast programs, in their big house and their headquarters. All of that was, they were
their headquarters for the Black Disciples?
They had a couple. They had one 444 West 63rd Street. That's where those little, the church that burned down right there on Stewart, right up in there was where one of their headquarters. Then they had the big house that was on 61st and 62nd and Halsted. So they had a couple of places, but the place that they had their free breakfast program was on 61st and Halsted.